mean, I know you mentioned condolences and offers of help and so on. And you just said that you stand in solidarity with our allies in Turkey and Syria. So you only stand in Syria with the Kurds, for instance? You don't stand with the rest of the Syrian people? Those are your allies.
No, Saeed, that is not what I said. We stand in solidarity with our Turkish allies. Of course, Turkey is an important NATO ally. The United States is a partner to the people of Syria. We have provided more humanitarian assistance to the people of Syria than any other country going forward. We are committed to doing what we can on both sides of the border, to helping our Turkish allies respond in the first instance with rescue and recovery efforts. That effort will be underway soon with U.S. assistance, but also with funding for recovery and broader response efforts. The same is true on the other side of the border, Saeed. We are determined to do what we can to address the humanitarian needs of the Syrian people. We've done that over the course of the 12-year civil war to the tune of billions of dollars. We do that through a different process. In Turkey, we have a partner in the government. In Syria, we have a partner in the form of NGOs on the ground who are providing humanitarian support.
Well, let me just follow up on this, because the Syrian government, as far as I know, it's a government that you still recognize. You have never unrecognized the Syrian government. So why not reach out to the Syrian government? They are in power. They're the ones that run these rescue operations or aid operations and so on. It would be a great gesture. Another gesture would be to sort of lift the sanctions that have basically, suffocated Syria.
Saeed, and I'm going to resist the temptation to go into your advocacy rather than questioning, but I will make the point that it would be quite ironic, if not even counterproductive, for us to reach out to a government that has brutalized its people over the course of a dozen years now, gassing them, slaughtering them, being responsible for much of the suffering that they've endured. Instead, we have humanitarian partners on the ground who can provide the type of assistance in the aftermath of these tragic earthquakes, but these humanitarian partners who have been active on the ground since the earliest days of the civil war. This is a regime, Saeed, that has never shown any inclination to put the welfare, the well-being, the interests of its people first. Now that its people are suffering even more, we're going to continue doing what has proven effective over the course of the past dozen years or so, providing significant amounts of humanitarian assistance to partners on the ground. These partners who, unlike the Syrian regime, are there to help the people rather than brutalize them.
Sorry, can I say, and I apologize for missing the top. How do you think it would be ironic?
To use this as an opportunity to reach out to a regime that has brutalized its people when its people are in an even more dire situation.
Okay, well, all right. Maybe I'm not. Maybe my understanding of the word irony is a little bit different. Anyway, did you guys begin with this, or China?
It's a long story.
I tried to begin with China.
It's a long story.
Initial assistance. We also heard Kirby saying that the 2 rescue teams are going to Turkey. Have they left the country? When are they going to be there? And how the process is going to go forward? Where they will leave from?
So I don't have specific details on where they will deploy from, but my colleague at the White House did make reference to 2 teams, 2 rescue and recovery teams that will be traveling to Turkey in the coming days, 2 teams of 78 individuals. That's one element of our response. There's a broader element of our response. We're looking at additional funding resources that we have available, again, for both sides of the border. Secretary Blinken did think it was important, of course, to speak to Foreign Minister Çavuşoğlu as soon as he could today. They just got off the phone a few minutes ago. The Secretary offered his profound condolences on the loss of life, the destruction throughout large swaths of Turkey. The imagery that we've all seen is just searing. It's harrowing. And unfortunately, the death toll we can all expect will only climb in the coming days. So we are going to remain committed to do what we can to support our Turkish allies, just as we're going to remain committed to do what we can to support the people of Syria who've also been affected by this. Yes.
I'd also like to thank, just like the mayor I did, for the great response in the first hours of the disaster. It's really grim, looking grim out there. And we heard from Kirby, just like my colleague pointed out, that 279-person rescue teams are being dispatched to Turkey at the moment. And the Secretary's message was that in the coming days, weeks, and months, we're determined to do any and everything that we can. So what's on the table, if you could elaborate on that a little bit? You said that perhaps, as well as the humanitarian assistance, like what could be on the table, what was discussed, because obviously we know that the United States has massive resources and experience in dealing with such natural disasters.
Absolutely. So I think you have to look at this in discrete phases. In the first phase that will unfold in the coming days is a phase of rescue and recovery. And that's why, as you heard from the White House, we're dispatching 2 teams of individuals who will work with our Turkish allies on that rescue and recovery effort. It is our fervent hope that the rescue and recovery effort is able to save as many lives, to pull people from the rubble, to focus on that near-term priority, to stabilize buildings, to pull people, and to, again, potentially save as many lives as possible. Over the longer term, in the coming days, weeks, and months, the Secretary's statement alluded to, there is going to be a massive rebuilding and reconstruction effort that will need to be underway across Turkey. The Secretary in the senior staff meeting this morning directed his team to look across various accounts to see what funding we might have available, what other resources we might have available to help our Turkish allies, to help through NGO partners on the ground, the people of Syria. This is very early hours, but we are going to be focused on this. We're also going to remain in touch with our Turkish counterparts. It was so important for the Secretary to speak to his foreign minister counterpart, Foreign Minister Çavuşoğlu, in first instance to offer condolences and to make clear to Foreign Minister Çavuşoğlu that anything Turkey needed that we could provide, they should pick up the phone and let us know. We stand ready, as an ally should, to help our ally in a time of need. Similarly, when it comes to the people of Syria, we stand ready as a partner and oftentimes a leading funding partner to the NGOs that are on the ground inside of Syria to be a partner to them in their efforts to alleviate the suffering of the Syrian people. Sure.
There are reports about communication lockdown, in particularly the southern part of Kansai and other areas. Is there anything the U.S. government can do at this point to mitigate communication problems? Secondly, any report, any information about the U.S. citizens being damaged and being affected by
Any reports of
the U.S. citizens being? Maybe you can add a little bit about the embassy's effort.
Sure. So a couple things on that. Of course, we're focused on the safety and security of Americans who may be in Turkey. We did an accountability exercise for our team, our staff on the ground. We've have full accountability of our team members. Of course, we're also going to have to do structural assessments of our facilities that are in regions that have been hit by this. I should also add, as a form of our assistance, and this gets back to your first question, Alex, our facility in Adana is going to be in a position to host others who are coming to facilitate and to help the rescue effort. So we're going to open our doors. We are going to open our collective wallet, as it were, to help Turkey in any way that we can, to help the people of Syria in any appropriate way that we can. When it comes to the specifics of this, it's, again, very early hours. We've talked about what we're prepared to do when it comes to rescue and recovery, but this will be a comprehensive effort that goes well beyond rescue and recovery, to include rebuilding, to include addressing the significant challenges, including the communication challenges, the infrastructure challenges that our allies are likely to find going forward.
When you say the mission in Adana is going to open the doors to other, like, U.S. rescue teams
To
or
other countries who are prepared to assist in this
And
effort.
when you say full accountability, you mean they're all safe?
That's correct. Now,
Because, full accountability can also mean.
oh yes, no, of course,
That's
our staff on the ground after our accountability exercise was deemed to be safe. Now, the tragic reality is that the death toll of this earthquake is likely to continue to climb in the coming days. Our consular team, consular officials on the ground, they've been in touch with the American citizen community. As of earlier today, we had not yet confirmed the deaths of Americans, but I think we're all realistic. We're all very sober about the implications of this and the fact that many countries, many nationalities are likely to be implicated, just given the massive toll and destruction that this earthquake
So
has
can we